When Valve released Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the community wasn't too sure about it at first.
Don't want to play CSGO. Yeah buddy, this shitty game. We don't play CSGO. +1 +1 +1 +1 +1 +1.
But Valve stayed. They built an infrastructure, they funded majors, and they turned it into a billion-dollar pillar of esports entertainment. Meanwhile, Left 4 Dead 2, a game with its own mechanical ceiling and team coordination, its own deep meta that can contest current shooters on the market, was left to stay behind in the shadows. Why did one Valve sequel become a world-renowned sport, while the other sequel remained unlikely to receive any mainstream attention? Today, I'd like to show you 5 reasons why Left 4 Dead 2 Competitive never took off. I want to credit my competitive gameplay here to the Left 4 Dead Gamers YouTube channel. They're constantly posting Left 4 Dead 2 competitive content, so if you do really want to see how that works, feel free to check them out. I will have them linked below. Anyway. In games like CS2 or Dota, the game gives you a ladder. You play, you rank up, and you can potentially get noticed. In Left 4 Dead 2, Valve gives us quick match. There was no official ranked mode, no skill-based matchmaking. If you wanted to play competitively, you needed to find a hidden IRC channel or like a specific Discord. Most use Discord these days, but then you have to download some mods, which as you can see makes a lot of changes to the balance and geometry of the vanilla Left 4 Dead 2. And also hope you don't get vote kicked by a horde of anime profile pictures. Valve never built the bridge. They viewed Left 4 Dead 2 as a Mario Party style co-op romp, while the competitive community was trying to play chess. Valve spends millions every year for Dota 2 and CS2 majors, but how many official Left 4 Dead 2 tournaments has Valve sponsored? Zero. Zilch. They have no official prize pools, no in-game events like CS2 has those coins, which you can upgrade those coins depending on how good you do in your pick'em's placement, as you can see in the image I have above, alongside team graffitis and Steam chat flares for the duration of the major. Without Valve's seal of approval, sponsors didn't really want to even touch the game, and pro organizations couldn't justify the investment. Competitive Left 4 Dead 2 wasn't just ignored, it was simply starved.
I think we better split up. We'll split up here.
Well, I guess we better split up.
So, speaking of pro mod, a competitive community can sometimes tweak the rules, but the Left 4 Dead 2 community had to perform a complete surgery to make the game quote-unquote fair. The competitive scene essentially just had to go ahead and wipe 60% of the content.
Delete! 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 Delete!
Including, but certainly not limited to, medkits, defibs, grenade launcher, AK-47, and Tier 2 shotguns. Left 4 Dead 2 was designed as an arcade apocalypse type shooter. Valve's philosophy was built on the director, who makes every run feel different. But in a competitive setting, randomness is the enemy. The competitive community stripped out the director's power by removing the medkits and certain guns. They turned a survival horror game into a math game, and for a casual viewer, seeing a competitive player not use half the content available to them can cause a bit of confusion / immersion breaking for some of the audience. Because the competitive version became super modded, they created a scene that is totally unplayable for most players.
Brother, what's that?
When the pro version of your game plays way differently than the vanilla version, I think you create a private club, not a thriving community that you need. What is the result of all this? The competitive game looks nothing like the mainstream game, so when a casual player tries to watch a tournament, they see a stripped down alien version of the game they loved. You weren't playing Left 4 Dead 2 anymore. You were playing a spreadsheet balanced mod that sucked the soul out of the zombie apocalypse fantasy. This further splits up the gap between the casual audience and the dedicated Left 4 Dead 2 audience. To be an esport, a game has to be a spectator sport. You have to be able to look at the screen and understand who is winning or losing in a relatively quick manner, while also being able to watch without having a substantial amount of hours in the game. It's easy to understand what a flash grenade does, a normal grenade, a smoke, that kind of thing. In CS2, it's simple. Terrorists want to plant at a site, counter-terrorists want to stop them. Easier to watch equals more of an audience. From a spectator's view in Left 4 Dead 2, it could be a potential struggle for them to understand things like what a boomer does, what a charger does, why enemies are highlighted certain colors like purple for being puked on, what the point system means and how you even get points in the first place. In competitive, there's more to it than just distance compared to vanilla versus, such as getting points for how much health you have, if you have pills in your inventory, on top of the standard's survival bonus. Compare that to CS2, where the competitive scene plays the exact same game the casual scene plays. Left 4 Dead 2's scoring system is way more mathematical. In CS2, 1 point equals 1 round win. You just really have to imagine yourself in the eyes of a brand new fresh player. And when you do that for both games, CS2 is way more easier to follow. In Left 4 Dead 2, half the players are invisible ghost spawns. In most standard esports, every player is a physical entity on the board at all times. Imagine watching a football game where the defense is invisible until the second the ball is snapped, you lose the build-up. You lose the tension of seeing the trap be set. The action is dictated by the director that the viewers can't see, and because the game is a linear race, there is no front line for a cameraman to follow. Most esports take place in an arena, like a map where teams kind of rotate around the center. This allows the cameraman to park it in one spot and catch the action. Left 4 Dead 2 is more like a treadmill. The action is constantly moving forward at a breakneck pace. If the camera stays still, it can miss potential hits. If it follows the survivors, it misses the infected setup. The spectator's brain never gets a moment to rest. It's a constant visual noise, spectator fatigue if you will. But let's circle back to the director. The director is the most important character you can't see. The director decides the spawns, the tanks, the health kits. In a competitive setting, the Pro Mod HUD tries to show these stats, but it's just a bunch of numbers that show stuff like health bonus, damage bonus, when the tank's gonna spawn. Stuff that kind of just looks like a bunch of stock market tickers.
You're dealing with numbers all day long. Decimal points, high frequencies, bang, bang, bang.
And for a game to go mainstream to a casual audience, the UI really just needs to be simple and tell a story. But in Left 4 Dead 2, the UI is way too busy explaining the math of the game and forgets how to show the drama of the game.
Drumler Nation, I'm your host.
Because the game is so heavily reliant on four-man coordination, one weak link doesn't just lower the team's chance, it effectively ruins the entire 30-minute experience.
This evening is ruined. Look, wait, what?
The community developed a hair trigger vote kick culture. Missed a pounce, kick. Didn't crown the witch, kick. Don't know specific pro mod tricks, kicked. This trial by fire meant that the casual to competitive pipeline wasn't just leaky, it was guarded by a gatekeeping elite that viewed new players as a burden rather than a growing audience. Because there was no ranked matchmaking, high-level stacks of 4 would regularly hunt in public lobbies. It could be a slaughter if a new player would join a versus match, get obliterated in the first 10 seconds by a group with a combined total of 5,000 hours, and feel discouraged and quit the game. An esport cannot grow if the veterans are constantly cannibalizing the rookies.
Feast mode activated. Feed me more.
In CS2, a silver is never placed against a global elite. The lack of a safe space to grow and refine your skills for mid-tier players meant that they would inevitably vanish, leaving only gods and griefers. To add on to this, there is a literal language to competitive infected play that is never explained in-game, such as quad caps, resetting, instas, scratching, or whatever. To go mainstream, a game's mechanics need to be intuitive.
It just works.
But the competitive meta is so unintuitive
It doesn't just work.
that a new viewer has no idea why the infected are waiting in a specific room for 3 minutes. If you weren't in on the secret metas, you were effectively an outsider.
It's a trap.
In a balanced esport, both teams should have a chance to recover. But Left 4 Dead 2 maps are filled with points of no return, one-way drops, elevators, manholes, those kind of things. But in competitive play, these aren't just transitions. They are very dangerous death traps. If one survivor gets grabbed right before a drop, the game is effectively over for that round.
Game over, man! Game over!
There is no rotating back to help them. This can create a snowball effect, where a single mistake in the first 30 seconds of the map can make the 10 minutes of gameplay irrelevant. Mainstream audiences don't like watching a match where the winner is decided in the first couple minutes.
Boring!
There's more comeback opportunity in games like Counter-Strike simply because of the fact that winning a couple rounds, even though you're down a lot, can bring momentum into the group and make you perform better and potentially, tie up the score, go into OT and clutch the win. That's happened before, and it's pretty cool to see. Valve designed maps for atmosphere and panic.
I'm having a fucking panic attack right now. I need to calm the fuck down because I'm having a panic attack.
On maps like the Parish, a single death charge off the bridge can wipe an entire pro team instantly.
This is epic.
In a casual game, it's funny / set clip. But in a match with a competitive prize pool, it can feel sorta cheap in a way.
This is bullshit.
Because the maps simply weren't built with fair play in mind. The competitive community had to ban entire sections of maps, or add climb props, just to give survivors a fighting chance. Again, the community was fighting what the game was originally built upon. From what I noticed, they're really only able to change props, open certain doors to make new walkways, and the map does seem a little different. But again, that can be confusing to the casual player because they've never seen those map changes. Left 4 Dead 2 is a masterpiece of game design, but it's designed for the couch, not the arena. The competitive community tried to turn a chaotic, cinematic horror experience into a rigid, mathematical sport, and while ProMod gave the game a second life, for the 1,000 hour club anyways, it simply couldn't bridge the gap between the casual audience. And speaking of masterpiece in game design, check out my video on why Left 4 Dead 2 was forced to be made. And as usual, thank you for watching.
You're my friend, you just can't be a pussy. Well, I had a heart attack. Get the fuck up. What's wrong with you? Go hospital later. Have a drink. Cigarette. Cup of coffee. Back in the game. Fucking having heart attacks near me, little pussy.
The answer's been in front of you the whole time, just like 9/11.